All right. I've got a special guest coming on in a second. A very special guest. Let's see if we can get them on. You don't want to miss this. Oh my gosh, come on, Instagram. Let me click on this. Right. Waiting. It's waiting. Yes.
It worked.
Darkman is in the house, everybody.
What's up?
Excited, man. We were just talking before this on FaceTime about we're trying to go live on Facebook together and split screen. We don't know. We've never done live on Facebook with split screen, so we don't know how to do it. If anyone knows, let us know. But we're here on Instagram instead, so I'm glad you're here. This is your first live.
This is my first ever Instagram live. I feel like I've got to save all my first experiences for you at this point. You know?
Well,
I'm going to make a list of everything I'm going to do for the first time with Lewis Howes.
You're virgin in podcasts, a virgin in Instagram live. We're going to get you to write your first book, hopefully in the future.
Okay.
If you guys are fans of Darkman, which I'm assuming a lot of you are, go ahead and type in me right now if you like his videos. Maybe you don't know who he is fully yet because he's starting to put himself out there more in his videos. But he's got some of the best videos on Facebook and Instagram. And we did a podcast a couple months back, which kind of told your whole life story, which was really powerful. And I reached out to Dar earlier and said, hey, let's get on live and just catch up and chat because we haven't been able to see each other in person. And we try to do lunch or dinner once a week or two. So good to see you, man.
Yeah, likewise. I thought I was going to come on and you're going to be all scruffy with your hair all long. But I feel like you're just a guy that always looks like that. You like require no maintenance. You just wake up and.
I trimmed my hair up though, and I shaved it yesterday before an interview. So I'm like, I try to look semi-good because I still got to do videos.
Yeah, that's true.
Now you got a baby on the way, and I saw you were making baby stuff. How is the emotions of navigating isolation with a baby on the way in the next month or two?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. So, my fiance and I were expecting. For those of you guys that follow me, you probably have seen my journey. Our daughter Ella Rose should be here probably in about a month and a half. And first off, I'm sure that every person out there is going through their own struggle, during this time. So definitely like my prayers and thoughts are with all of you guys. Everyone's facing their own battle. But yeah, I guess we're facing a little bit of a different challenge because, with everybody staying home and, trying not to be out, especially in places where there's a lot of sick people like hospitals. The thought of delivering a baby and bringing a baby into this world is definitely really terrifying. Yeah. And especially because hospitals are now starting to say that no guests are allowed into the delivery room. And
crazy, man. What are you gonna do if you can't see your daughter when it's born?
That's that moment, right? Like every person, I think, imagine for girls, it's obviously giving birth, but for a guy, it's that moment of seeing your lady, actually deliver and holding the baby for the first time. So yeah, it's not going to be that same experience. And then I'm also just worried because I try to be like that positive support for Laura because, I'm sure it's going to be stressful and difficult. So not being able to be there to support her, definitely is scary. But either way, just kind of keeping keeping positive vibes and praying that everything is going to work out. So it's a scary time, but the inner optimist in me always feels like things will work out fine,
How are you handling everything in your business right now in terms of just managing the team's emotions of uncertainty? You're working from home a lot, I'm assuming. How have you been able to stick to your routines, or have you been off your routines from all this?
Yeah, great question. So as far as like my personal regimen, to be honest with you, like in the very beginning, I was kind of trying to figure out like how to structure everything. And so I was staying up kind of late. I stopped working out. I was
Eating a
waking
little
up late.
extra. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a guy that like as soon as I kind of I fall off too far from the wagon, then I just feel this immense guilt inside. So you know, within a couple of days, I would say I was able to sort of recollect myself. Like the most important thing is just trying to stay disciplined as if everything is normal. Like whether that's going to bed, you know, on a certain time or waking up at a certain time, maintaining your diet. I pretty much like with my trainer, I switched to FaceTime calls. So I've got little dumbbells set up like right behind me with the bands and everything.
I've been wanting to get those dumbbells.
That jump rope.
They were all sold out at the store like 2 weeks ago, but I wanted to get those because they have the different weights on one dumbbell, right?
And the stock of the company that makes this went 2.5 times higher in a week.
No way, man.
250% higher. But this is something that you will never, ever, ever see in downtown Los Angeles. Like,
no cars.
Literally, it's empty. I mean, this is like, if I could imagine like the dream place to live, it'd be LA with no traffic, but it wouldn't be this crazy virus out there, you know? But yeah, it is, yeah, it feels like we're in a zombie apocalypse or something. But yeah, from a
especially downtown, because even at night, it kind of gets dead anyways. Like certain nights when there's no events happening, it's kind of like dead. But it's like that all day probably downtown.
Oh, yeah. It's all day. There's like so many cars and people, but right now it's literally like a ghost town. But yeah, to answer your question, man, you know, as far as business, fortunately, you know, the business is still, I run 2 different businesses. The first one is Live Glam, which a lot of people know. It's a cosmetics company. And then the second one is Darman Studios, where I create videos and such. And both businesses.
So how is the subscription business doing with makeup? Are women wanting makeup right now if they're not going out? Do they care? Are they putting it on hold, or are they excited still for month to month what they're getting?
Yeah, you know, actually, our business has grown since all of this has started, which I know is crazy to think, but we were very proactive from the very beginning, in terms of communicating about everything happening, addressing it with our team. You know, we haven't done any layoffs. We haven't cut anyone hours or anything like that, fortunately. But also, we also saw it as an opportunity to stand up and like give back to our community and to be able to support those in need. So one of the things that we decided is that for, you know, this past month, everyone who signs up to one of our subscriptions, we're donating 25% of any new member sign up to the World Health Organization. Wow. And then we also started documenting our process of how we're ensuring, you know, all of our packages are being safe and we're taking the necessary sanitary precautions. We've been we were probably one of the first companies to actually send out like an email blast to everybody. So I think you know, during times like this, you can either see it as, you know, oh my gosh, like the sky is falling and everything is over, or you can kind of rise to the occasion and think, what can I do to really stand up for what we believe in and support people and give back? And in a weird way, if you do it correctly, you can actually turn a negative situation into a positive, where you can still be growing. Like, this is probably the busiest I've ever been. Wow. Even though I'm working right here from my kitchen, I've got my hot sauce in front of me and my soda and my towel and everything. But you can definitely turn a negative into a positive. It's just all about how you approach it with the right mindset.
Where did you talk to a mentor when all this went down a few weeks ago and say, okay, I'm going to send an email out like right away before anyone else does? Like, I'm going to think about how we can give back more. Like, how did you think about that first off?
Yeah, for sure. There's this guy, like, I can't stop singing his praises. He's absolutely brilliant. His name is Lewis Howes. I don't know if you've heard of this guy, but you know what? I mean, I have to say that there's no greater, you know, lessons that you learn in your life than through your own personal experience. And there's just been a number of instances where, you know, I, in a leadership role, have fallen on hard times. And so, you know, there's two types of leaders. There's one, they're leaders that really excel during calm waters when everything is like going great. And then there's other leaders that really thrive when there's a big storm happening, right? And I would say that's when you really learn the true qualities of leadership, when you encounter various storms. And you got to develop what I call steady hands, to try to remain calm in holding that steering wheel to guide this ship that's full of your crew and your team through this storm that you're experiencing. So luckily, you know, because I've been able to experience like tough times in the past, that helped me realize the necessary things, you know, to do when times do get tough. And I would say, first and foremost, the number one most important thing for any leader is that transparency and communication. Like, don't hide away from it. Don't shy away from it. Don't not want to talk about it. Like, I'm very proactive, you know, in talking with everybody about it. We were doing webinars. I was reaching out one-on-one to people and say, how are you feeling during this time? You know, what can I do to support you and whatnot? And the more that you talk about it openly, I think just the more comfortable everyone feels in knowing that you're taking the right steps to ensure everybody's safety, and that, you know, you will go through this, you will get through it all. And, you know, also just maintaining that optimism, like, things are going to get back to normal. We are going to get back to this amazing place once again. It's just during these times where you start to feel like the sky is falling and my life is over. But no, that's just a temporary thing. So for everyone out there going through a hard time, like, you will get through this. And the greatest you really is on the other side of this virus.
Dang. Sounds like an end to a video, one of your viral videos right there.
I keep using greatness for you, actually, so I keep throwing that word in there.
I like that, man. And what about the Darman side of things, the viral videos? You know, for those that don't know, Dar, if you're on my page, go check out. You can click on Dar's name right up here and check out his Facebook page. Got some unbelievable inspirational storytelling videos that help you just understand life better, great morals to living a better life. And I definitely recommend going subscribing. He's blown up, I think, almost 6 billion views in the last year and a half, 2 years now. So how has that business been? Are people consuming more and more of this type of content, or is it everyone's posting content now, so it's less people watching? How's that going? Yeah,
you know, I would say that there's more people watching videos because they are staying at home. But a lot of people are more interested in coronavirus type videos. But I would say more than anything, the world just needs positivity. So don't feel like you can't talk about other things as well. So, you know, I'm still putting out you know, videos every single week that talk about various topics, because I think people do want to take a break as to all the sadness, you know, that's happening in the news and everything that they're seeing on social media. And I would just say, like, this is sort of a big eye opener. Like, if you found yourself in a situation where you were living, you know, day to day or week to week, and now all of a sudden you don't have savings to figure out how you're going to pay rent next month or whatever it is, you know, definitely take this as an opportunity to figure out how, you know, you're going to better prepare after you get through this, how you're going to put yourself in a better position to be able to withstand these storms and these hardships that you're going to face, because at some point in your life, you're going to go through it again. And so for me, luckily, you know, we had been creating videos well in advance before posting them. And so, you know, I've always tried to plan far ahead, not nearly as far as I should have planned now, clearly. But even after we shut down our production about a month ago, we're still posting new videos that we stockpiled. I've got my next video going live in a couple hours, actually. But this is kind of the last week, and then I'm going to run dry on content. But then I'm going to just be doing different types of videos that I can be doing from home as well. So, you know, I would say there's two things. There's like, number one is the preparation aspect. You know, always, it's sort of like when you're growing up and, you know, you always have people say, prepare for that rainy day. Like, you know, you want to be as prepared as possible, where literally, if everything goes wrong, you're still functioning and fine because you were preparing for worst case scenarios like this. And then number two is sort of, you know, be creative enough to try to find opportunities or like that diamond in the rough, because there are so many of them out there, and you just have to kind of be adaptive. Like, don't fall in this negative mindset, because then you're not going to be creative. You know, try to be as optimistic and as positive as possible. And that's going to help stimulate that creativity so that you can actually thrive and get ahead while others are kind of staying the same or maybe even dipping lower.
Love that, man. That's great wisdom, great insights, man. And you feel like this is an opportunity for growth and to build both businesses, as long as you're doing the right things and serving people and adding value. And you feel like this is the best time for people to grow in opportunities in business?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, it's definitely, you know, an opportunity to give back and really help others as well, you know, which is super important and a big part of everything that we're doing. But, you know, if you look at even the greatest, if we're looking at this from a business standpoint, if you look at some of the greatest business people in history, a lot of them made their biggest moves or found their very best opportunities during economic hard times, during hardships, right? You have to be able to think the opposite of what everybody's thinking, because when everybody's motivated by fear, that's when nobody is buying, nobody is hiring. Everybody's trying to sell everything. And if you can maintain that mental stability, that mental calmness, and see that opportunity, this is when you can find the very best opportunities to be able to buy. We're hiring like crazy. We've ramped up our whole hiring process because a lot of super qualified people are out of work. And, you know, instead of thinking of it as, oh my gosh, like, you know, we got to stop everything, I would say start thinking about how can I hire more people during this time? How can I spend more on advertising, because advertising is cheap right now? But obviously do it all from a good, genuine place of trying to help people during this difficult time as well. And as long as your intentions are right, I think you will find that support base. And you really can grow and take, you know, your business or your life to that next level during this time. But yeah, I feel like I'm hogging this conversation, man. What about you?
Dropping bombs, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm so used to usually having like enchiladas like between us, and you know, I'd be drinking a margarita. You might have your once a year Baileys or something, but
mostly water, sparkling water.
Mostly water. How are you functioning in all this?
I'm doing good, man. I feel like we were talking before the live that I'm just focused on listening to what people need the most right now. And I think as content creators or entrepreneurs, it's an opportunity to pivot and shift or go all in on what you're doing if that's what people need. There was a restaurant I go to across the street where I can't sit there anymore. I just do the pickup option right now because of Corona. And they had to let go of 300 people because they've got 7 different locations in LA. And so I've been talking to the manager from 10 feet away when I go pick up my food and just asking him, you know, what are you guys doing to shift to stay alive? Because you got retail to pay for, you got the overhead, you got all this stuff. He said, honestly, we're selling toilet paper because we've got an abundance of it. We're selling wipes.
Oh, wow.
We're doing stuff with it. We're actually selling bulk orders to the CDC. They're buying stuff in bulk just to keep us afloat. We're trying to do other creative things with outreach and having people come in and buy like vegetables just for home. We get an abundance of it. So we're repackaging things and giving people what they need right now to make sure that they survive and continue to thrive. And I think what I've just been doing over the last few weeks is just asking my audience, what is your biggest challenge? And providing the right content, the right trainings, the right interviews for them to support them on their biggest pain point and their biggest problems. And I think as content creators, entrepreneurs, consultants, that's what you got to lean into is like, what do people really need? What are they struggling with? And how can you serve them at the highest level for those needs? And, you know, you might have to shift a little bit. You might have to shift a lot. You may not have to shift at all, but you got to go all in something different with customer support or donations or whatever it may be. And I think that's what I'm just trying to do is steep a positive mind, like you said. See it this as a, you know, for me, I remember back in 2008 to 2010, it's having nothing. I mean, I had nothing during that time. And yet in those 2 years, I built a multi-million-dollar business within a couple of years. because of the down economy, because I found the pain that people had, and I started learning a skill set to serve that pain, and just worked hard for a couple of years. So for me, I think if you figure out what are people challenged with right now, and you serve that challenge, you're setting yourself up for great success.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And how great does it feel that you actually have your girl living with you now? Can you imagine being quarantined by yourself?
Or being long
distance?
I know, man. Or just long distance. Like, you just don't know how long this is going to go for. So it'd be tough going 2, 3, 4 months long distance without seeing your partner. So we're lucky to be quarantined in the same place together.
Yeah, you got to look at the blessings, you know, and I've been sending out daily text messages, you know, at times like this, like, okay, you're at home, maybe you can't go dinners, you can't go shopping, you can't see your friends and family, but, you know, for most people, it's like, you have a phone, right? You're watching this somehow, you've got a roof over your head, you've got food in the fridge, like, at this time, more than ever, I think it's just really good to focus on all the things that you're grateful for and the blessings that you have. That's actually something I've learned a lot from you. Like, I know that every single night before you go to bed, you actually list out and say 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for, right? So you've just got this ingrained in your everyday thinking.
And I got my girlfriend doing this, you know, a year ago. And now she asked me first. She goes, "What are you grateful for?" Right when we lay down, where I used to say it to her all the time, "What are you grateful for?" She might have been going through some challenges, but now when you think of this habit, or you create this habit and routine of gratitude and perspective, like you said, you start to reflect in a positive way before you go to sleep. And when you sleep, you typically rest better, and you wake up better rested. You feel better, you make better decisions and choices, and you're more grateful and abundant thinking throughout the next day. So it all works, you know, in unison with each other.
Exactly. And it's that night that, like, you stay up late and then you eat bad and you
ice cream and you
the next morning. And you can't, but if you can maintain those good habits, like you're saying, like right now, exercise your brain, right? Like read, meditate, do those things that you've always been wanting to do, you know, do at home workouts, and you can achieve the body that you want to achieve. I told my trainer, I want to come out of the coronavirus and just be
better than ever. Me too, man. I was like, I want to be so clean.
Yeah, this is the one opportunity that I have. But there's so many things that, you know, every single person, including myself, has always said, one day I'm going to get time to finally do this. And then you go through your whole life feeling like you never have the time. Right now, you've got the time.
Now is the time.
You know, you've got the time right now. But of course, now the biggest challenge you have is, do you want to watch an hour of Netflix, or do you want to spend an hour, you know, on working on the outline for that book you want to come out with, or that podcast, or start that business, or work on that body that you've dreamed of, right? Whatever those goals are, it all right now is going to be a real testament for how much discipline do you have to pursue your goals over whatever the temptations are that are going to be pulling at you. So, yeah.
Love it, man. If you guys are following me and you don't know Dar yet, make sure to click up on this link right up here of his name. Check out his videos on his Instagram. Subscribe on Facebook, YouTube. Check out his text platform, because he's sending out daily inspirational texts. This guy is an inspiration, and he's super creative and organized at the same time, which is very hard to do, to be creative brain and organized brain. And he just is a good model to follow on content creation, leadership, positivity. So make sure to check out his stuff for sure.
Likewise. How does this work? Are my followers also in this, or are these all like
both of our people are? Yeah, both of our people are seeing it.
Gotcha. This is my first Instagram live. So let me return the favor. If you guys are seeing Lewis for the first time, you know, I'll have to say that when I started creating content, and, you know, I was probably getting, at this point, I had like a couple billion views. You know, I started sort of getting some traction, you know, in the whole motivational self-development space. Lewis was the very first guy to reach out to me and build a relationship. And I think his first question was, is there anything I can do to support you in any way? You know, he's one of those guys that's literally always trying to give back. it comes straight from his heart. And, you know, after having a relationship with him from quite some time, he's proven that over and over again. So if you guys are just looking for some constant positivity, somebody that, you know, comes from a great place, you know, that can help you get through difficult times, I highly, highly recommend following Lewis, checking out his podcast, The School of Greatness. I personally have also read your book recently too, you know, which is,
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you've got 2 books out, right? The Master
Yep.
Masculinity and The School of Greatness. I read The School of Greatness, which is an incredible book. So highly, highly recommend keeping up with Lewis. And, you know, he's also on his journey with his girlfriend and his little dog as well. So
Exactly.
he's a great guy to keep up with.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I don't have a child on the way, but I've got a little mamacita dog. So that's like my
hey,
right now.
if you're in quarantine, you may as well keep busy, you know?
Oh, man. Yeah, man.
It's going to be a baby boom. I already know.
Crazy, right? It's
yeah.
I know you got a video coming out in like an hour and a half, so I'll let you get ready for that.
Yeah.
Good to connect and hang, man. And, you know, Dar and I just we're chatting, and we were like, let's go live and just, you know, chat each other, but also share some good stuff and good vibes.
Yeah.
Like so if you like this, go ahead and leave a heart and go make sure you, I think up here in the corner, there's a link. I don't think we can see it, but they can see like our names. Yeah. And you guys can go and follow Dar over there and send him some love on his videos. So, Dar, you're the man.
Thanks so much for doing this, man. We're going to do a lot more content together. Lewis and I got a lot of stuff in the works that I'm excited about.
Plans, baby. We got plans. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for doing this, man. We'll talk soon. Dar. All right, brother. Bye.
There you guys go. If you enjoyed that, go ahead and leave a heart or a yes if you enjoyed that. If you are not following Dar yet, go check him out. Super inspirational. And we've had fun connecting over the last 6 or 7 months, getting to know each other here in Los Angeles. So I'm going to be doing, I feel like I have all these great connections, the people I've been interviewing on my podcast for many years, just good friendships I have with people that I learn from, and we connect and support each other. And we did an interview on live with Dr. Nicole LaPera earlier today. If you guys want to check that out. You can always go to the podcast, School of Greatness, right here. If you just go to the podcast app on Apple or Spotify, or just Google School of Greatness, you can hear the full interview with Darman over there. The episode I did with Nicole LaPera earlier today as well is up there. Dr. Joe Dispenza. We've got so many great people recently that have been coming out. So if you want more consistent inspiration, tools, training to help you improve your life, you can check out School of Greatness. But I'm going to do more of these lives and bring on people that I know, like, and trust, that I think are up to big things, that I'm just talking to on FaceTime one-on-one. And I'm like, hey, let's go over here and talk and share some good ideas. So if you want more of that, go ahead and let me know. I appreciate you guys. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.